Good morning. God bless you. I have a quick word for someone. This word has actually been in my spirit for several weeks, if not months, but now is the time to release it. So I just want to encourage someone. If you have the word of the Lord, you have everything you need. There are times that the Lord tells us to move forward, to stop, to wait, to not do something. That's also the word of the Lord, right? So if we're receiving the word of the Lord and he's saying not now, wait, or not ever, we have to hold on to that word just like we will hold on a word that tells us to go do a particular thing. Now, I want to emphasize the power of God's word, of having his word. I'm not just talking about his written word, right? Everything like that's foundational, right? But to have his Rema word, his right now word for you and wherever you're at. And I want to use this example. So March 15th, wow. So it's been almost a year, right? Tomorrow to make a year. I have had no vehicle. My daughter has been so gracious and she has helped me to obey the Lord by, us coming up with a strategy to share her car, even though we, live in different parts, or we work in different parts of the city. And, part of that reason is when we were in North Carolina, sorry, I'm holding my phone and I usually have something to hold it. So forgive all the shaking. When we were in North Carolina, the Lord like held my hand as my transmission was going out. I knew my car was about to go out. I knew I had stuff I needed to fix. This car was a blessing. Someone gave me a check for $9,000. I was able to get this car for $8,500. My title was like $560 something, so I only had to pay like $60 something on this vehicle, and it was a nice Altima. It was really nice. But the transmission started going out, and I started freaking out inside because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't have enough. Like I had moved to a new state. I didn't know anyone. To be honest, I was like barely making it. But God was faithful, and it was a purpose that I had to know what leanness was. I had to know what lack was, right? It was foundational for where God would take me later. And so one of the things though is that like when God was holding my hand as my transmission's going out, this process happens for like a couple of months where my car was just like bad. I had clients, I worked with people coming out of prison, and they would be like, why is your car making that noise? And I would just like turn the music up. I'm like, what are you talking about? And so it caused me a lot of anxiety. But let me tell you this, when my car did go out, I had the money to fix it. And the Lord told me, I went to the Lord to ask him, what do I do? And he told me, let it go. Let it go. Do not fix it, right? And he said, you will get another one. Okay, here it is. Tomorrow will make 1 year since my car was towed out of that driveway. I still don't have a car. I was able to get a car that day. I have very good credit. And I have always had a job for the last, several years or whatever. Y'all who know my testimony know that I didn't work most of my life because I had fibromyalgia, but God healed me about 8 years ago. And so I had the money, I had the ability, I had the credit, but I did not have the word of the Lord. I actually had a word that was saying, don't do it. I had the word of the Lord. It just wasn't in favor of me going to get a car, right? And so I based my whole life around that. When we moved back to Texas, our jobs are over 20 miles away from each other, and we came up with a strategy to be able to do it. And because I did not want to disobey God, I can go to a car lot with no money and no credit on the word of the Lord and be okay. I can have great credit, have money, have a job, but if God tells me no, I will not go. And that's the power of knowing God's word. Some of y'all may have seen my Facebook post that like God told me, certain things about moving to Austin, and the way this has unfolded is insane. It even goes back to words I received 3 years ago. So everything is starting to culminate and come together. And I'm going to make the transition there. I don't have all the answers, but I have the word of the Lord. And he told me, you literally have nothing to figure out. Like, I have the map. I'm going to be telling you when to go right, when to go left. Like, you don't have to figure anything out. And I have walked by faith before. And there is faith. I always talk about this. Faith is literally a substance. I have seen faith in the spirit. I have seen it. It is like thick oil. It is like gold. And it comes through it came through my ear. I felt it. I felt it enter the chambers of my heart and go through my veins. And, I was experiencing the vision, right? And so it's a literal substance. And so when God tells you to go, like, you don't have to have the answers. Let the word of the Lord be as weighty as it should be in your life. Let his word take precedence. And that also means when you get the word of the Lord tells you don't do a thing, don't buy a thing, don't be with somebody, don't go here, don't go there. That word of the Lord carries the same amount of weight as a word that is spoken in alignment with your desires, right? I am so grateful to be moving to Austin. I love Austin. I don't like the traffic right now. I wish a lot of the people who moved here from California, other places, would just move back because the traffic is awful and they don't have the infrastructure for that. But I love that there's water everywhere. This is where I went to college. This is where I graduated. This is where just my heart is in Austin. And so I'm excited. And so I'm moving out with the word of the Lord, with the instruction of God, piece by piece. And I just encourage you to allow God's word to you to carry the weight that it needs to. And that means, again, I'm going to say, not just for the things you want to do, but the things that you're told to do. I was told not to have a vehicle for tomorrow will make a year. But God said I will have one. And I know it's going to come to pass because he said it, right? But I just want to encourage people, just because you can doesn't mean you should, right? I could have went and got a car. People looked at me. You know how much I've been mocked, how much people have told my daughter, like, what's wrong with your mom? Why doesn't she do this? Why are you having to help her? Like, it's been very humbling. But what I know is I hear from my Father and I do what he tells me to do. I don't care who looks at me, who mocks me, who laughs at me, who doesn't understand. Because I know that God's hand is on my life. And if I have to walk something out a certain way, then I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it because I want his perfect will. I don't want his permissible will. That's not good enough for me. I want to be in the perfect will of God. And so I just leave you with this. I pray that this is a blessing to you. God bless y'all and talk to you soon. Bye.